In this video, we study about the water, electrolytes and acid-base balance. How we drink the water and they balance the electrolyte, and they also help in acid-base balance. This all we study about this in this topic. So this water, electrolyte and acid-base balance comes under the topic that is biochemistry, metabolism. So what are the key concepts of water balance? Water compartments inside and outside cells maintain a balanced distribution of total body water via osmosis and diffusion. Osmosis and diffusion are two type of transportation in our body. Osmosis and diffusion, from low concentration to high concentration or high concentration to low concentration. Water mainly act as what? Water mainly act as solvents, either in our body or outside our body. The major function of water is they act as a solvents. So water act as compartment inside and outside cells maintain a balanced distribution of total body water via a process that is osmosis and diffusion. Osmosis is the process of transportation of molecules through low concentration to high concentration. The concentration of various solute particles in water determine internal shift and movement of water. Clear? Water act as solvents, and the particles that present in water that act as a solute. Clear? What is solvent and what is the solute? Water act as a solvent, and the molecules and the particles or molecules that present in the water that act as a solute, right? So the concentration of various solid particles in water determine internal shift and movement of water. Suppose in plasma membrane, right, there is movement of potassium and calcium ion or sodium ion, potassium or sodium ion. So the movement of sodium and potassium ion that are solute, and they move according to the concentration, where the concentration of potassium is low and where is high. So there is transported according to that only the solid particles that present in water are shifted internally from high concentration to low concentration or low to high concentration. If they move against the concentration, then they required a energy. It's that energy in the form of ATP or GTP, right? If some solutes move against the concentration, then they require energy, and that is known as active transportation. And if they move according to the concentration, they require no energy, and that transportation is known as passive transportation. So these are the key concepts of how there is movement of particles, or what are the solid and what are the solvents. Now homeostasis, body state of dynamic balance, means if there is balance in everything like water, electrolyte, acid base, then that body is dynamically is known as homeostasis. Means there is no increase in acid base or any other type of electrolytes or water, and this all are balanced by what? Electrolyte, acid base, what? This all are balanced by a solvent, that is water. So there is the water is a major element or molecules that help in balancing the body or help in dynamic balance. Capacity of the body to maintain life system despite what enter the system from outside. Homeostatic mechanism protect the body water supply. Homeostatic mechanism protect the body water supply. If our body are in homeostatic condition, then they not need water supply. So they protect the body from water supply. The major function of the body water are act as a solvent. Already I told water, the major function of water is that they act as solvent. Water is the basic liquid solvent for all chemical process. within the body. Water is the basic liquid solvent. What? It is the basic liquid solvent for all chemical processes within the body. And transport. Water also help in the transport. Nutrients carry through the body in water based fluid like blood, secretions. Blood contain hemoglobin, right? RBC, and they also contain water. So there are several type of nutrients that require water for their transportation or through their based fluid. Water based, they are water based fluid. Water also help in thermoregulation. They maintain a stable body temperature. Body lubricant, serous and synovial fluid. So these all are the function of the major function of the water in our body. They act as solvent, they help in transportation, they help in thermoregulation, and they act as body lubricant. Body water requirements. Surrounding environment. Body water evaporate as sweat and must be replaced. When heat will be present outside more as compared to our body, or the temperature will be high outside, then what happen at that time? Sweating will be produced, right? Or when we do excessive exercise, then at that time also sweating will be produced. Then what happen in that? Sweat will be evaporate. What? Evaporate. Body water evaporate as sweat and must be replaced. That is a water that evaporate, right? So according to that, the water will be evaporate in the surrounding. So that is surrounding environment. Activity level. More water is needed when increased metabolic demands during physical activity. During physical activity you need more water, or in summer day you also need more water as compared to winter, because in summer days what happen, the sweating will be more. So there is loss of water from the body, or during the physical exercise or excessive metabolic reaction, at that time also sweating will be more and there is decrease in body water. So at that time body require more water during the increasing the activity level or in summer condition. Functional losses. Disease process affect water requirement. Metabolic needs. What are the need of water? What are the concentration of the need of the water per day? 1000 ml of water necessary for every 1000 kilocalorie in diet. 1000 ml means 1 liter of water is necessary for every 1000 kilocalorie in the diet. If diet is of 1000 kilocalorie then you need 1 liter of water, or according to the age you require water. Fluid compartments. These are the fluid compartments. These are the fluid compartments in fetus. These are the fluid compartments in men, and these are the fluid compartments in female, right? So other dietary factor like dehydration, more than 2% total body weight loss. If more than 2% of total body weight the water will be lost from the body, then that term is known as dehydration, and that time body require more amount of water. Special concern in the elderly. Water intoxication, those at risk: infants, psychiatric patients, patient on psychotropic drugs, adherence athletes. In this all type they require water. If the concentration of water is low, then that will be at a risk, and that is known as water intoxication. See here, these are the things where water, the fluid of the water will be increased here. That is the type of water intoxication. the percentage of body weight loss. Percentage of body weight loss. These are the 0 to 1. These are the thirst. This is stronger thirst, vague discomfort, loss of appetite. Loss of appetite. When 2 to 3% of body weight will be lost, then there is stronger thirst. And vague discomfort, loss of appetite. Decreasing blood volume, impaired physical performance, increased efforts for physical work, nausea, increased efforts of physical weight, nausea, difficulty in concentrating, failure to regulate excess temperature. Failure to regulate excess temperatures. Even 6 to 7% of their body weight will be lost. 8 to 9% dizziness, labored breathing with exercise, increased weakness, muscle spasms, delirium and wakefulness. Inability of decreased blood volume to circulate normally, falling renal function. These are the graph according to their body weight lost. When 0 to 1%, they the thirst will be required. They feel like a thirst. 2 to 3% stronger thirst will be appear, or there is loss of appetite, decreasing blood volume, increased efforts of physical work. These are the percentage. According to that, the function of body will be changed. Water intake and output. Water intake. Preform water in liquid that are consumed. Preform water in food that are eaten. The food that you eat also contain a water, right? That food also contain water. Without water, there is a less amount of food that not contain of water. So water intake, perform water in liquid. If you consume water as a liquid, or you take food that also contain water. Product of cell oxidation. Older adults must maintain proper intake of water because of the tendency for dehydration. If adults not intake water in proper amount, then dehydration will be occur in them. Water output. Obligatory water loss leave the body through kidney, skin, lungs and feces. How the water will be removed from the body? Water will be leave the body through kidney, that is through urine, in the form of urine, through skin in the form of sweat. Sweating will be takes place through skin, so that is in the form of sweat. Lungs, when you release CO2, at that time also some water droplet will be goes out from the lungs and so feces, right? So these all are the measured things or tissue from where water will be lost. Other water loss varies according to climate, physical activity. According to climate means if summer days will be there, means at that time what happened in summer, the temperature will be increased outside, then sweating will be occur. Through that thermoregulation will be appear in the body. And physical activity, when you do lots of activity, at that time also through the metabolic reaction will be increased in our body and sweating will be occur. So at that time also via process of sweating, the water will be lost. And the individual's intakes. On average, the daily water output from the body totals 2400 ml, which balances the average intake of water. Body water amounts and distribution. What are the body water amount and how they are distribution. Extracellular fluids. Total body water outside cells. 1/4 of extracellular fluid is blood plasma, and 3/4 is water surrounding cells and bathing tissue, water in dense tissue, and water moving through the body as secretion. interstitial fluid surrounding cells in tissue. So total body water outside cells are 1/4 of the extracellular fluid is blood plasma. What? 1/4 are the extracellular, that is blood plasma, and 3/4 is surrounding cells. 3/4 is the surrounding cells. Intracellular fluid, total body water inside the cells, twice the volume of that outside the cells. Overall water balance, average adult metabolizes 2.5 to 3 liter of water per day. What? 2.5 to 3 liter of water per day. 100 ounces per day. 100 ounces per day. These are the distribution of total body water. See, in 34%, these are the 34% which contain interstitial fluid, plasma, transcellular fluid, lymph, right? This contain this all, and this 66% are the intracellular fluid compartment. These are the intracellular fluid compartment. These are the 4 quadrant. In 1 quadrant are the interstitial fluid, and these 3 quadrants are the extracellular fluids, right? And these 66% are intracellular fluid compartment. Clear? Now electrolytes. Electrolytes are small inorganic elements that break apart in a solution and carry an electrical charge. Like iron. Cation are a positive charge, anion are a negative charge. Cations are the positively charged electrolytes, anion are the negative charge. Already you learned this about in lower classes, right? Water cation, water anions, and water inorganic elements. So I hope electrolytes also you learn in 11th or 12th classes, right? So electrolytes are nothing but is a small inorganic elements that break apart in a solution and carry an electrical charges. Balance between cation and anion concentration maintain chemical neutrality necessary for life. Balance between cation and anion concentration that maintain chemical neutrality necessary for life. So electrolyte mainly balance the cation and anion concentration. What? They balance the cation and anion concentration in the life. So plasma protein. What? They are plasma protein, that is colloids. Mainly albumin and globulin. What? Mainly albumin and globulin are the plasma proteins that are colloids. Organic compounds of large molecular size retained in blood vessels does not diffuse out. Plasma protein are retained in blood vessels that does not diffuse out and control water movement. They control the water movement. Colloids guard blood cells. Colloidal osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure are the pressure that present during the osmotic transportation. Small organic compounds are generally concentration too low to influence shift of water. They not help in the shifting of water from one place to another place because the concentration of these are very low. Exception in uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, glucose can increase water loss from body. When there is uncontrolled diabetes will be present in the body, or they having a diabetes, then what happen? The concentration of glucose will be increased in the blood because the secretion of insulin will be low, so that the absorption of glucose will be not takes place and there is loss of water from body, so that the concentration of glucose will be increased. That is known as polyuria. Separating membrane, capillary membrane. First, capillary membrane, thin and porous. Capillary membrane are thin and porous. They contain water molecules, electrolytes and nutrients move freely across them. So, capillary membrane also contain water molecules and electrolyte. Larger particles remain within exert COP. Right? Cell membrane, thicker membrane constructed to protect and nourish cell contents, uses channel for specific ion or molecule, sodium channel for sodiums, fats merge freely. So, force moving water and solute across the membrane. How these water molecules are moved or solutes are moved across the membrane? How they are transported? The process of that are osmosis, the process or force that impel water molecule to move throughout body. What moves water molecules from an area of greater concentration of water to an area of lesser concentration of water. Right? And next is diffusion, force by which particles, solutes in solution move outward in all directions from an area of greater concentration to an area of lesser concentration. Remember this, diffusion forces by which particle, solutes, where in osmosis they move water molecules from an area of greater concentration of water to an area of lower concentration of water. Right? So, remember this term, not confused with this term. Facilitated diffusion, similar to these are facilitated diffusion are similar to simple diffusion. Addition of transporters that assist particle across membrane. They are similar to diffusion, but in this what happen, facilitated diffusion, some co-transporter are present that help or that assist particles across membrane. Filtration, water is forced through membrane pores when pressure outside the membrane is different, taking a smaller molecule with it. Active transport necessary to carry particle upstream across separating membrane, and this active transport required what? Active transport required energy like as a ATP, GTP. Pinocytosis, larger molecules attach to thicker cell membrane. Larger molecule attached to thicker cell membrane than are engulfed by cell. This is known as pinocytosis. Capillary fluid shift mechanism. Capillary fluid shift mechanism. In this what happens? Cells water and nutrients must move from capillary to cells. What happens? In this process, cells move from capillary to cells. Cells water and nutrient move from capillary to cells. Right? So, there is movement of water or nutrient through the capillary. Water and cell metabolites must return to capillaries. Uses opposing fluid pressure, hydrostatic pressure, blood pressure, force water and nutrients into tissue. Opposing fluid pressure are the hydrostatic pressure and colloidal osmotic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure, when blood pressure forces water, what they force water and nutrient into tissue. This is known as a hydrostatic pressure. And colloidal osmotic pressure are draw water and metabolites back into capillary circulation. They draw water and metabolites back into capillary circulation. That is known as colloidal osmotic pressure, because this is against the concentration, right? Because in what happen in capillary fluid shift mechanism, water and nutrient will be moved from capillary to cells, but in colloidal osmotic pressure what happen? They draw water and metabolites back into the capillary circulation from the cells. So this is known as colloidal osmotic pressure. Now organ system involve in body water balance. Gastrointestinal circulation. Water from blood plasma is continually secreted into the gastrointestinal tract, right? Water from blood plasma. In the latter portion of the intestine, most water and electrolytes are reabsorbed into the blood. In the latter portion, portion of the intestine most water and electrolytes that are reabsorbed into the blood. Isotonicity equal osmotic pressure. Isotonicity means equal osmotic pressure outside the cell or inside the cells, means in this there is no transportation of the water or solids will be takes place. Clinical application: loss of isotonicity through vomiting or prolonged diarrhea. In that case what happened? In that case what happened? Diarrhea, or there is a decrease in the concentration of water or minerals will be present in body. So we take lots of water and mineral from outsides. Hormonal control: antidiuretic hormone mechanism, renin, angiotensin, aldosterone mechanism. These are the mechanisms through which water will be balanced. Right? Organ system involved in renal circulation. Kidney laundering means filter. They filter the blood to maintain water balance and proper solute balance of the blood. In kidney having a capillary like this, like U shaped, right? That is PCT, CCT, loop, that is a loop of Henle. That loop of Henle absorb water, minerals, and they balance or maintain the water balance and proper solute balance of blood, right? So renal circulation help in maintaining the body water balance. Hormonal control: antidiuretic hormone ADH mechanism, first line defense against hypovolemia. ADH is also called vasopressin. They act when there is deficiency of water. They released when there is deficiency of water will be there. They release and they absorb water from the loop of Henle. They absorb water. Renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system: as blood flow through the kidney drop below normal, renin is released from the kidney into the blood, so that they also absorb the water from the loop of Henle, right? These are the antidiuretic hormone. Hypovolemia: increase ECF, sodium ion concentration and colloid osmotic pressure, stimulate hypothalamus to increase synthesis of ADH. ADH transported and released from pituitary gland. This is a pituitary gland. The hypothalamus signal the pituitary gland to release the ADH. They release the ADH, increase kidney reabsorption of water and decrease urine output. And these are the vasoconstriction. They increase ECF volume. And decreases ECF sodium concentration and osmotic pressure. Normal ECF colloid osmotic pressure, and now what happened? Normal ECF, colloid osmotic pressure and blood volume will be present. So these are the mechanism how the water will be maintained in the body. Clear? Now acid and base. What are the acids and what are the base? You see the pH paper or pH meter. So according to the pH, 7 is the neutral pH, and below the 7 means 1 to 7 is the acid, and from 7 to 14 that is a base. So that's why homeostasis, balance of acidity or alkalinity, must be maintained in body water solution and secretion. The acidity and bases, these all are maintained by the water solution. The concentration of hydrogen ion determine the acidity level, and concentration of OH, hydroxide ion, determine the alkalinity level, right? Acidity expresses in term of pH. Acid and bases refer to hydrogen ion concentration. pH of 7 is neutral, already I told you. Acid compound that has more hydrogen ion and can release ions when in solution. Bases compound with fewer hydrogen ion or more hydroxyl ion, or can accept ion when in solution. This is known as a base. Acid base buffer system. Human body has many buffer system. Relatively, human body has many buffer system. Relatively narrow pH range is compatible with life. Chemical buffer system handles an excess of acid or bases. Mixture of acid and base that protect a solution from wide variation in pH. Main buffer system are carbonic acids, base bicarbonate, carbonic acid H2CO3 from H2O and CO2, and base bicarbonate, that is HCO3, seen in the chloride shift during CO2 transportation during the respiration, right? So acid base buffer system is human body has many buffer system, relatively narrow pH range. Acid base buffer having both acid and base, that buffer is known as acid base. Or buffer is a solution that having both, that handle both acid or base, that is known as buffer. Handle an excess of acid or base, mixture of acid and base that protect a solution from wide variation in pH, that is known as buffer, right? Acid base base buffer, they help in physiologic buffer system. Respiratory control means they act as a carbon dioxide leave the body, raising blood pH. Urinary control means kidney monitor hydrogen ion, may excrete hydrogen in urine by trading hydrogen from Na, may keep hydrogen to lower the pH. They may keep hydrogen to lower the pH. So overall summary of in this video, that overall water balance is maintained by fluid intake and output. Two types of solid particles control the distribution of body water, that is electrolyte and plasma. That is electrolytes, that is small organic molecules, and plasma proteins. The acid base buffer system uses electrolytes and hydrogen ions to maintain a normal extracellular fluid pH of approximately 7.4, because the pH of our blood is 7.4. So we have to maintain the body fluid to 7.4. This all about the water, electrolyte and acid base. So hope you understand. So today we stop here. Thank you.